Thank you for joining me. I'll be your guide on today's Yin Yoga journey. My name is Becky Lynn, and today is a mixture of Hatha Yoga and Yin Yoga. So I like to stretch the body out a little bit, warm up your joints before moving into the slower, more still and deep poses. So that's what we'll be doing today. And today's practice is for beginner, intermediate, or advanced, really anyone. All you'll need is 2 blocks, possibly a blanket for Shavasana for the meditation. So we'll start today by centering in a quick body scan. So get in a comfortable seated position. You can cross your legs or place a bolster or block underneath your hips to raise them up if you'd like. And we're just going to softly close our eyes, tuning into our breath. And we'll start by inhaling into the belly and exhaling out. Inhaling into the belly, exhaling out, and one more like this. Inhaling as much air into the belly as you can, and sighing it out. And then we'll return to our natural rhythm. And try to relax your forehead. Notice if you're holding tension in your eyebrows. Try to relax your jaw. Notice if you've been clenching today. And try to make more space between your shoulders and your ears. Consciously dropping your shoulders lower. Relax your arms and your legs. And now would be a good time to set an intention for today's practice or for today going forward. If you don't have an intention, then I challenge you to think of one thing that you are grateful for in this present moment. A few more inhales here before we begin. And on your next inhale, slowly blink open the eyes, send the arms and hands up above the head. Palms come to touch down through heart center. On your next inhale, hands come above your head. Exhale, drop your right hand to your left knee. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, try to look toward the back of your body. A few breaths here. And then on your next inhale, hands come back up above the head through center. Left hand comes on the right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, lengthen your spine, pulling up from the crown. Exhale, turn to look back toward your right shoulder this time. Inhale, hands come up to center and back down. And you can just place your hands on your knees for now. And we'll start with some upper body circles. So on an inhale, bring your chest forward, opening up through your shoulders and your chest. Exhaling, curving your spine, chin to chest. Inhaling, bringing your heart center forward. Exhaling, curving the spine, tucking the tail. And you can just go at your own pace with your own breath. Slow movements here. We're not in a rush. Feeling into the body, feeling where you're holding tension. And then you can reverse the circles. Still inhaling the chest forward. One more. And from here, we'll just come to face the front of the mat, stacking our legs in front of one another. So this is a variation of fire log. So your right shin will be in front of your left shin. And it might feel nice to place a folded blanket or a block underneath the hips here. And on inhale, we'll bring our hands up toward the sky. Exhale, float them down, and then walk them forward. And you want to stop when you feel a stretch in your right glute. You want both sit bones to be touching the mat here. So if one of your glutes has lifted off the mat, then you should probably walk your hands back toward your body a little. And this is our first yin pose, so we'll be here for about 3 minutes. And you can rest your forearms on the mat, or you can elevate the ground toward you and rest your forearms on the block. You could also rest your forehead on another block if you'd like. And we'll be taking deep breaths here, trying to breathe into our belly. We're not pushing. Yoga focuses on stillness, long holds, and deep connective tissues like fascia, ligaments, hips, and joints. So we'll be holding each pose for about 3 minutes. And long stills can sometimes bring up emotions or memories that are sometimes traumatic. So if this happens, just come back to your breath. And if you feel the need to cry, then this is a safe space, so feel free to do so. It's not good to hold emotions in. It's natural to release them. That's the only way that our bodies can process them. And it's normal for this practice to feel quiet, introspective, emotional, meditative. So I won't be talking too much during this practice. You should feel mild to moderate sensation or stretch, but if at any time you feel a sharp or pinching sensation, then you want to slowly get out of the pose. And try to relax into the area that you feel the stretch the most. Each exhale brings more softening through that area. On your next inhale, walk your hands under your shoulders and slowly push into the mat, lifting your upper body. And we'll take a second here just to come back to our breath before going into the next pose. So this time the left shin will be in front of the right shin. Inhale your hands up above your head and then float your hands down on the exhale. Walking them slowly forward until you feel a good stretch in your left glute. Be sure that your sits bones are both on the mat. Again, you can bring the ground up higher to you with a block. Rest your forearms on there. You could use the block to rest your head. But whatever you choose, make sure you're very comfortable because we'll be here for another 3 minutes. And when you're ready on your next inhale, you can walk your hands under your shoulders, pushing your upper body back up to center. Taking a moment here. And then we'll meet in tabletop pose. So hands underneath shoulders. Knees underneath hips. Spread the fingers wide. Curl the toes under. Keeping the knees bent, send the hips up toward the sky, curling the tailbone up toward the ceiling. And allow your head and neck to just rest in between your shoulders here. And then roll forward. And step your right foot in between your hands. And then we'll lower the left knee to the mat. So knee should be directly above the ankle. And then on an inhale, we're going to open up through the chest and look forward. Exhale, come to straighten the right leg. It doesn't have to be straight all the way. You can keep a soft bend in it. And then inhaling, bending the right knee. Exhale, straighten it. And you can go at your own pace here with your own breath. Now the next time you come to straighten your right leg, pull the right hip back, left hip forward. And you can point the toes up to intensify the stretch. Just stay here for a few breaths. And then eventually we can come down to sit either on our ankle or on a block. So you can place a block underneath your right glute. And we'll passively fold here. So we're not pushing, we're not trying to reach our toes if it's not easy for us to do so. We're just passively folding. And we'll be here for about 2 minutes. And then when you're ready, walk your hands closer to your body, allowing your upper body to come back up. Remove the block from underneath your glute if you chose to do that variation. Push into your left knee to bend your right knee. And then bring it back under your hips. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Curl the toes. Bringing your tailbone up toward the sky, curling it up. Keeping your knees bent here. Rolling, and this time we'll step our left foot in between our hands. Lowering the right knee. Checking where our knee is placed. So inhaling our chest forward. Exhaling to straighten the left leg as much as you can. Inhaling forward, exhaling to straighten. And on your next exhale, when you straighten your left leg, pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. Option to point your toes up toward the sky. And we'll take a few breaths here. And then grabbing your block, placing it underneath your left glute as you come back to sit toward your heel. You can keep a soft bend in your left leg if that feels good for you. Inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to passively fold. Deep breaths here. And when you're ready, you can walk the hands closer to the body and come back up to seated. Removing the block from underneath your glute, bending into the left knee, and placing it underneath the hips. We'll meet again in table. From here, you can either bring the knees out wide and bring your hips back toward your ankles. Hands out toward the top of the mat and rest your head on either a block or the mat. Or you could bring the knees together for a more passive child's pose. If you chose the second option, try to just let your shoulders hang down toward the mat. The second option is good for the lower back. And the first option is good for the inner hips. Now take the palms of your hands and walk them underneath your shoulders to push your upper body back up. And we'll meet again in table. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And this time we're just gonna slide our right knee forward without lifting it and slide our left hip back. From here, we'll just dip our left hip toward the mat and then back up. Dipping it down and back up. And you should feel a deep stretch in your left psoas here. And then the next time your left hip dips down, look over your right shoulder. Taking 2 deep breaths here before looking forward again. Then scooch your right foot toward the left side of the mat, creating about a 45-degree angle with your right leg. Here you can place a block underneath your hip for more support if you'd like. But we're going to tap the fingers first, inhaling, opening up through the chest, setting the shoulder blades down the spine. Exhaling, coming on down to whatever level you'd like. Again, you can use the block to bring your the floor closer to you. Or you could use a block to rest your head on. Or you could just rest your head on your forearms. Whatever you choose, find a shape that allows you to breathe steadily and stay present. We'll be here for 3 minutes. Try to breathe into that right hip as much as you can. And with each exhale, allow your body to relax a little bit more. And very slowly lift your head. Slide your palms underneath your shoulders and push your upper body back up. We'll meet back in table. And let's just curl our toes under and sit back on our heels, just very briefly, tucking our tailbone in. Nice toe stretch here. And then from table, we'll take our left knee this time and slide it to the inside of our left hand. And then we can scooch our right hip back just slightly. And here, we'll dip our right hip down toward the mat and back up, down and up, at your own pace, with your own breath. And then the next time your right hip dips down, go ahead and look over your left shoulder. 2 deep breaths here. And then forward. Now scoot your left foot toward the right side of the mat so that your leg is bent at about a 45-degree angle. And we'll tent our fingers, inhaling, squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening up through the chest, and exhale down to any level. Find a position where you can stay present and comfortable, and then be sure to take deep breaths as well. We'll be here for about 3 minutes. And when you're ready, slowly lift your head, place your hands underneath your shoulders and push your upper body up. This time we'll tuck our right toes. Push into our right foot to bring our left foot back to the back of the mat. Downward facing dog. Curl that tailbone up toward the sky. And maybe you walk it out on the spot. And then slowly lower your knees down to the mat. And whatever variation of child's pose you didn't take last time, maybe you want to take it this time. So sending the hips back toward the ankles. Child's pose, just for a few breaths this time. And then slowly lift the head and the upper body. Swing the feet over, and we'll all meet on our back. Grab a hold of your blocks, and we'll be in supported fish to close out the session. So the first block you'll want on low setting, and the second block you'll want on medium setting. This is going to go right underneath your shoulder blades, pushing your chest out. And this one will go right under your head to rest your head on. And we'll just lay our arms out by our side. You can straighten the legs if you'd like. I like to pull my feet toward the outside of the mat and knock my knees in toward one another to protect my lower back here. And we'll just be taking deep belly breaths here, just like before in the beginning of class. Relaxing our eyebrows, allowing our eyeballs to sink deep into the sockets. Relaxing the jaw, allowing the tongue to rest gently between the teeth. Allowing your shoulders to melt toward the mat. Your whole upper body is relaxed now. And pay attention to your breath. Feeling the rise and fall of your belly. Maybe paying close attention to the temperature of the air as it goes in through your nostrils and the warmth as it comes out. Allowing your thoughts to pass, noticing them, and letting them go with every exhale, coming back to your breath every time. Feel free to stay for as long or as little as you'd like. It was my honor guiding you through today's Hatha Yin flow. Thank you for sharing your space, your energy, and your love. Namaste.